All right, everybody, welcome to Wheels and Shaky, episode 8. I think, right? 8? Is it 8? We're
8, yeah, let's say, I think.
officially 8. We have a little bit of follow up from 7 to from the 7-ish episode, but that should only take a minute or two. It pleases me and should please everybody here who is a fan of this
Huh.
little endeavor of ours. Yes, you can hear the little giggle in the background. Guess who's back? Shady's
Yay.
Shady's back. We
Shady.
yeah, the old Eminem song. Guess who's
Oh,
back?
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I can't believe I have to explain that to you.
No,
Uh,
I knew
so
that. I just know that's where you were going. I should
so
have
here's
known
and
better.
and there she is. There's her voice. Yes, Wheels is back. For those of you catching this on the YouTube channel, you will notice. Yes, she is in a hospital bed, not but well, a rehab bed, and she's wearing a real just
Oh, knock it off.
hot piece of
Uh,
summer wear that is your standard hospital gown.
yeah, no.
I mean, it works in the hospital, it works at the beach, or for a night out on the town. It really is. It really is a pleasant garment.
I do
Uh,
need to accessorize a little bit, don't I?
yeah, you should put a little, like a little
Put a little scarf or a brooch.
scarf, and yeah, put a little brooch in there, put some pearls maybe. Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yes, because I'm trying to look all types of sexy right now.
Yep,
That is a priority.
yep, I can tell. And then there's and you get what is that? A towel on the? Is there a towel on the pillow behind your head or?
There is because I got a shower last night.
Woo!
Hmm.
Yay! Thank goodness.
It, I
Thank
know.
goodness.
I'm grateful for that. I'm sure my nurses are too.
Yeah, well,
But
we are too because we would have seen the stink coming off of you if you didn't. I mean,
ugh,
yeah,
you have no idea.
yeah. What's that? What's that green smoke coming up from your bed? Oh, that's just the way I smell.
2 people to shower me. So much fun.
In Vegas, you pay extra for that, so enjoy it.
Well, Jack and Mila are awesome. So
Say the names one more time, please.
Jack, yes, Jack and Mila.
Yeah, you're paying triple for that in Vegas. You're right. You're paying triple. You're paying big dough. You know, usually pay extra for that cotton. Uh,
I will let them know.
okay. Yeah, they're. I hope they're billing your insurance company for the appropriate
Hmm.
services. I wonder what the medical code for that is. By the way, I'm sure there's
I'll ask my friends. They're medical
yeah,
coders.
I'm sure there's like a 69 reference in there or something.
Oh
And
God.
there we've broken the rule. No kids. I gotta mark this episode as not for kids.
Yeah.
So all right.
Right.
So anyway, so welcome back. I am overjoyed that you were here. Uh, because the last time I did this, I basically sat here and talked to myself. And while I can do that because the voices in my head are constantly kind of having that conversation anyway,
Hmm.
it doesn't project well. But we did it. But I wanted to make sure we get some content out there. So there is an episode. There's a short episode of just me flying solo, and I feel like I should apologize for that to the people who are our standard listeners, our regular folks that like to show up for this. I think I may have apologized in advance when I did it, rightfully so. So then. But you said you listened to it, and we kind of talked about some things. So just real quick, just to wrap that up before we jump into today's little endeavor. Motivational bullying, especially like getting you up the steps. Any thoughts? Anything from your end to cap that uh, cap that off before we move on?
Well, I mean, I looked up, trying to prepare that episode while I was not feeling well. I looked up the different types of bullying, um, because they're different. People respond to um, inspiration, motivation in different ways. And I think you knew that you had to challenge me in an entertaining way while walking that line of ticking me off enough, just enough to get me to move. And you're very good at it. So
Thank
I
you.
have to actually say
It's
thank
it's
you for
it's a
being,
gift. Thank you. It's a
it
gift.
is. But I needed that. I mean,
You
I
being a jerk.
did not like it at the time necessarily, although it did make me laugh, as most things you do. But it helped me so much.
Well, that's so. Then in the motivational bullying being delivered by a motivational asswipe. So, yeah,
Well, the thing is that I knew you.
it's a guess.
I knew your motivation behind it.
Well,
And I knew that you were trying to do what you knew I would respond to. So that's the one thing that people need to make note of is that motivating someone, you need to find their style. Whether it is intrinsic, whether it's a reward, um, whether it's extrinsic. I mean, there's many different reasons. And you just found my button. As much as I hated it, it worked.
well, and okay, very good. I appreciate that because that really puts it in a very nice light and puts a very pretty face on it. Because everything that you just said I was doing, my response to be no, I was just trying to get you up the steps as fast as I could because I had other things to get to.
Yeah,
But
I get that.
yeah, that's
You act like I
no.
didn't know
So
that. I mean,
your version, but I like your version much better. Your version makes me sound like a saint.
no, I mean, I got to know that, believe it or not, I was timing it. I knew that you were in a hurry. So I would know that, well, this is 4 minutes long. And I would time it. I've got to get the midline on the stairs by this point in the song. I mean, so it caused me to push myself.
That's fair.
And it was, I don't know,
It always
I was
depended on the
competing
time of
against
day.
myself too.
It was always dependent upon the time of day. Like because you knew my stand. At the time, I'd have my daily stand up with the engineering team. So it'd be
Oh, yeah.
if my stand up was at 9 or 9:30, and like 8:56, like 8:55, you're like, hey, I'm going up the stairs. Like I got a meeting in 5 minutes. So how are
Hmm.
you feeling?
I knew that. And a son of Shaky helped sometimes.
Oh yeah, no, yes,
Mrs. Shaky helped sometimes. I mean, it
sure.
just,
Oh yeah, no, there was always other people involved, but let's be honest. None of them ever sang anything to you up those steps or tried it. Well, I don't know, maybe Sam did. Maybe Son of Shaky.
son of Shaky did. He tried a few different songs
Yeah.
to try and motivate me.
All right. Well,
But I
cool.
made it every time. I
Yeah.
hated it. It was hard. It was difficult, but I did it. So I'm trying to do now, gosh darn it.
Well, and that's why I said, look, I stand by the statement. I stand by the one statement that I made in the last episode, in the solo episode, and I actually have used it a few times since then for people who just in conversation for people asking, hey, how are you doing? And I still say that you are kind of the queen of badassery because you participate in life at a level that is above and beyond. I think what the other people that I've had experience with that I've had knowledge of that have been in very similar situations to you where they've just quit, where they just give up, or they just say, I'm just gonna sit and let this beat me up and watch life go by. You're not that person. It's the reason why we're friends. It's the reason why it's the reason why I've said before that in a lot of ways I completely admire you and you're kind of my hero because you don't um you just you're just not that person. You're just not a quit. And
Uh,
I don't like the word quitter. I don't like to use the word quitter because it seems accusatory of people that But I don't want to say that other people were quitters. Sometimes
right.
but
Well,
like
I have my pity party sometimes,
well,
but
sure,
I know that I can come to you and I have to deal with it some. It's a
yeah.
stage of grief or something that a lot of people go through. I need to be sad sometimes. You can't hold it in. You've got to let it out. But I
I
also know that I've got you to come to put my butt back in shape, in gear.
Well, yeah, and vice versa. By the way, because there's with my own recent with my Sprite, maybe we can bill Sprite for a product placement. Um, so with my own recent developments with some of the with the Parkinson's or with other assorted challenges that have been happening in my life.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's you have your ups and downs. Um, I've been very lucky. I've been very lucky. I have you for a lot of the stuff, and uh, I have a friend group of well, like a friend group, and here that lately has been keeping me busy with a lot of
Which is great.
music activities and things like that. And at some point or another, I might actually, who knows, maybe one day I'll actually find a job again, or maybe I won't have to. Maybe I'll just retire. I don't know. So anyway, so moving on to
Okay.
that was a bit of a longer encapsulation, so we'll move quick. And moving on to the next, so the real episode 8, which you have titled on your notes, "Let It Slide Safely." And yeah, we're going to talk about socks because
I love socks.
socks, and yeah, you and your socks, me, I can't tell you uh, in a non-gym in a non workout environment, I can't tell you the last time I put on a pair of socks.
I don't remember ever seeing you in a pair of socks.
Well, right. I mean, outside, like in the middle. Look, if it's winter time and I'm having to wear shoes and I'm worried about keeping my feet warm. Yes, I'm wearing socks. But like it's summertime. It's summertime and I live near the beach. Unless I'm wearing athletic shoes for athletic purposes,
Hmm.
or some sort of exercise, some sort of given exercise, I'm not wearing socks, and I'm certainly not wearing the ones that that go anything up over my ankle, which may or may not be a bad thing because of circulation issues. I probably could use like some compression socks, but I just have no desire to
Yeah.
put it on. And you, on the other hand, for as
Hmm.
many, I think you can count you. I'm sure you can count as many times that you have seen me wear socks as I could probably count as many times as I have seen your bare feet.
Oh, I just can't stand it. I've discovered too. This is a very divisive issue.
It is.
You're either a sock person or you're not a sock person.
Well, it's see now I don't think it's the sock. I don't think it's the sock. I think it's the feet. And because and here's the thing, I know certain people, I know people that are very vocal about they're just anti feet people. They see people walking around in flip-flops and they're like, put on real shoes, and I don't want to see your feet, and feet are gross, and feet are this, and then you get the pro feet people like the Rex Ryan video with the foot, if you remember that from years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. the And look, I'm not talking about, I mean, those are the creepy feet people, not into the creepy feet people. And then there's feet people just like, I don't care, whatever, just put on your thing. And people, and I know people can change. People can morph over time.
Mhm.
Uh, I would cite an example. I would cite an example of my uh, a girlfriend, a former girlfriend of mine from college was very anti feet. She very put on flip flop sandals, any kind of toeless whatever, or open toe shoes or anything like that. Gross, cover them up. Now she and I are friends, and she has a very interesting podcast about American English expressions. Um, and she does these videos from wherever, and she's constantly wearing flip flops all the time. Her feet are all over the place. So you can change your attitude about it, but I think it's feet. I don't think it's socks.
No, I think it sucks.
Hmm.
You're taking this into a way different area. Because if you can ask someone, do they like to wear socks or not? It's a thing. Everyone has to wear shoes of some kind at some point. But as you said, how many minutes do you actually wear socks? I mean, the only time I take my socks off is in the shower. And as soon as I get out, I will put socks right back on.
Yes, I know.
I just cannot have my feet uncovered.
Well, see, your thing, but you see, with you now, let's take it to the next level. With you, socks what were at some point. I don't really now because of for mobility purposes. Before you had a special deal with your socks.
I did.
Okay, explain.
And this is going to be part of my product recommendation later. And I can say the minute I got to the hospital, I had to fight with them because I own grippy socks. I own grippy socks. I
Oh, I know
love grippy socks.
grippy socks.
Hmm.
Just to be clear, I'm sure everybody knows what a grippy sock is, but just to be clear, the grippy sock is the socks with the little things on the bottom of them, like you typically get in the hospital. But you can buy grippy socks. Yeah, right. Exactly. Thank you for the we have a visual representation on the YouTube
If
video.
you can see it. Yay!
But
This is actually not a sock to wear. It's my OT aid.
right, but it used to be a sock.
Yeah,
It's a
it's my Big Bird socks that they offer you in the hospital, which everyone knows.
right on.
The first thing they do is take off your socks and put on the Big Bird socks, unless you have specific grippy socks like I have.
Right.
So
see,
I
for
love
you,
Biggers.
but then you made it even more intricate by combining the socks.
That was my last sock I don't lifetime, whatever you call it, because That's back when I was walking. So, and anyone, I'd say the majority of people who have MS understand what foot drop is. It's when your secondary leg, your foot, it drags when you walk. So if I had put a grippy sock on that foot, it would have been a nightmare.
Right.
So I had to buy a grippy sock, pairs of grippy socks, and match them with non-grippy socks.
Right.
So I found this brand that looked almost exactly like my grippy sock. So no one could tell the difference.
Yep.
So for what, a couple of years I'd have a grippy sock and a
Yes.
non-grippy sock.
Oh yeah, I remember because we would help you fold laundry when you were living with us. We would help you.
Mhm.
Were Alan, Mrs. Shaky, other son of Shaky, the laundry maniac,
Mhm.
other son of Mr. Even he knew he would fold. He would help you with your laundry, and he would help you with laundry, and he would know to take one grippy sock and one non grippy sock and put them together. This was
Yeah, everybody knew that. That was
this became standard operating procedure at the house.
yeah, actually my kids who I live with now continued to do that for the longest time. And I do explain to them, kids, I'm in a wheelchair now.
You're not dragging a foot.
I'm not dragging a foot, so it doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
However, I still buy the grippy ones.
Well, look at some point and who knows at some point or another maybe you get a little bit of leg back or something. You like I said, you're not a give up person. Maybe you're
No, I mean I stand at the counter and prepare my food, and I wear both grippy socks now.
right.
So I can stand at the counter without fear, my feet slipping out from under me.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, the people at the hospital and at rehab are obsessed with the grippy socks. I had to fight with them and explain to them that my socks are grippy already, and I don't need to imitate Big Bird. I don't.
I wonder.
So
I wonder if it's a. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Maybe it's just a thing. It's easier for them to just look and see. Hey, there she's got the yellow socks on. We know she's got the right ones.
right, and most people they don't come to the hospital with grippy socks.
Right. You on the other hand.
And
You are the other hand queen. You're the queen of preparedness. So
oh God, I've got so many socks.
so many socks, so many grippy socks. Well, but then it's so you got the grippy sock and with the function of the grippy sock, we've morphed from we've evolved from no grippy socks to one grippy sock to two grippy socks.
Mhm.
Even though
You sound like Sesame Street. You're counting like the count.
one grippy sock, two grippy sock. Yeah, I got to work on my.
Yeah.
You got to let me know when that's coming so I can work on the impression. Make sure I can lock that impersonation down. But then, so we use Alice, Mrs. Shaky, Allison and I were guilty of this. The souvenir socks, the trip souvenir socks, because
And I love looking at them.
you love looking at them, but at some point or another we're like, we're buying her these socks, but she can't, wear them. So Mrs. Shaky and I would go on a trip, and we would bring home. I don't know what, for a while there it seemed like it was a cool little gift if we were bringing if
It
we were
was,
giving
it
gifts
was.
for somebody. And it wasn't just for you. So we would get socks. We would sometimes
Right.
get socks for other people too. And we could find these little sock shops that had some sort of something related to the area that we were in, but then also related to the person. So in Wheels' case, we would always get socks with like cats on them or something.
Yep.
And I think
I got a taco.
Yeah, like a taco.
I got
taco cat.
Shark, and I got
the sharks.
cats. Yeah.
So
Which my children always got me socks for Christmas too.
right.
And I have a lot of souvenir socks that I can't wear.
Well, if anything, maybe would be great.
Oh.
Future bit idea. Let's take let's get all your souvenir socks and we'll do the whole show with sock puppets.
Oh God.
The whole show. We'll do the whole show with sock puppets. For the it'll be a gigantic hit on YouTube. Big sock puppets.
If I wasn't in the hospital right now, I would show you all of them.
It would be great.
Because I've never worn them, but I've also never thrown them away.
Well, of course not. But so then it'd be even better. They'd be great sock puppets. So we could do taco, cat, shark. Hello, taco. Hello, shark. We could, how are you over there, cat? And you could do we could do. Oh, this is okay. Write that down. Make a note of that. So that's
Just sock puppet theater.
For everybody listening right now, write down the moment you've heard this. I'm gonna say it is 5:11 p.m. Eastern time
Mm.
on Sunday, July 6th. Is it?
Yes, it is.
Sunday, July 6th. Make note of this: the time, date, moment that comedy gold had been struck. Just telling you right
Hmm.
now that comedy gold had been struck. When they when they build eventually, when they build somewhere eventually the podcast Hall of Fame, this moment will be right there. Just telling you right now.
How many pairs of socks do you even own?
Tons, actually. But
Really?
well, right, but I don't. I again, same thing. I don't. The only ones I wear are the little ankle socks for, like I said, for exercise purposes.
Hmm.
Take those out of the equation. I have the good old fashioned white tube sock type deal. You know,
Oh God.
for wintertime. For wintertime, if I got to throw on boots or if I got, it is. Look, we don't get the. We had a bad winter here. We had a bad winter here last winter, but under normal circumstances, winters aren't crazy. Uh, and then I have, and then I it's fine. I have socks with sharks on them. I have
Hmm.
one pair of socks that matches a pair of underpants that have sharks on them.
Oh my God, really?
Yes, yeah, that was a birthday gift too. It was a birthday gift from diver friends of mine. It was actually very funny because we would make jokes. Allison used to make jokes. We'd make jokes about what do when you're a kid, you got your aunt and uncle or somebody, grandma gives you socks and underpants for your birthday or for
Yeah.
Christmas, and you're like, oh, that sucks. But as you get older, you start to realize socks and underpants, or in my case, at least underpants. Hey, thanks. I need these.
Yeah, exactly.
Go through them a lot faster. Um, you know,
Well,
blasting holes in the one you got, socks and underpants for that matter. So,
well, if one thing I can say is that that time of day when I need to get my socks on, miserable time of day.
sure.
There are so many tools that my occupational therapist has recommended. I've yet to find one that will work with my needs.
Yep.
So, for everyone out there who has tried the sock funnel, or that, I don't even know if it has a name, the stick with the metal things that go different directions, I think they call it like a formed sock aid, its official name. I mean, you can buy them and see what works for you, but I can say personally, neither of them work for me. But you know, it does work. Telling my kids to get my socks on for me.
Sure.
Always helpful.
All right, let's see. I'm just doing as we're sitting here, I'm doing a real quick glance at the old interwebs here.
I mean, you could speak to
Okay.
shoe horns.
Well, this one, sock aid socks for putting. This thing looks like a penis pump. I don't know. I don't know how you're
Oh
putting
my God.
socks on with this, but that looks like a
How do you know? Ask how do you know what that looks like?
what a penis pump looks like.
Yeah.
The first Austin Powers movie.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll give you that one.
yeah. Remember the scene? This is not my bag, man. Look, but it comes with the book that says, "Hey, Austin Powers, this penis pump is my bag," or whatever. That whole thing.
You
Um,
remember so much.
yeah, but I don't remember the important things. I don't remember the important things. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure my wife has a birthday coming up, but I know it's you got a birthday coming up. I don't there's things like that I don't remember, but I remember the Austin Powers
Hers is the 12th, mine's the 28th.
of August. To
Yes.
be clear, yeah, we'll double. But she's we're gonna have a whole episode about her hitting the old double nickel. So the almond deluxe sock aid from CVS also looks like a penis pump. Uh, the sock aid device for elderly, pregnant, disabled sock. Well, okay, they need you want to put a comma in there or something because I've never had a
Like all
uh
that at one time.
yeah. How do they make
Well,
those? How does one impregnate a sock? Well, actually, okay, I know exactly how somebody impregnates.
yeah, exactly. Knock it out. You went through
Wait,
junior high. You were young at one point.
I did not. I did not. That was not an intentional setup. I just
Uh,
stepped right into that one, literally.
be sure to wipe it off before you walk.
Oh man. Okay. Boy, this is definitely this is definitely the not suitable for children episode.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Well, have
They were
you seen
talking
the
about
shoehorns
socks.
too? I wish I could show you the one they keep in this room. Shoehorns, to get shoes and socks on.
Mhm.
incredible, incredible invention.
Yeah.
But they're so varied.
Right.
And we'll talk about shoes at another one.
Yeah, we'll do shoes. We'll do that because shoes are an episode in and of itself.
But to put on socks for me, I need two hands.
Yeah.
Even with a lot of these tools, you have to practice with these tools.
Right.
You still need two hands. And my left hand is not that reliable. And I cannot go without socks. You know that.
I know.
I would wear socks at the beach if I could. I would not
They
let.
make them. They're called water socks.
Yeah, true.
They're like those. They're like those beach shoes, but they call them water
Yeah.
socks, but they're basically shoes.
Oh, just sand getting in between my toes. Just ugh.
Oh, are you kidding me? That's the
Cannot
greatest
do that.
feeling ever.
No.
Oh, sand! My digging my toes into the sand and just making my wiggling them around and feeling all.
Ugh.
Oh, I love. Oh, you
No, thank you.
you know.
I don't like
I dip
sand.
my
You know
toes
that.
in the sand and a cold beer in my hand. That's
I don't like
Zach
sand.
Brown had it right. No, I tell you. Warm sands, water. The waves crashing. That's the goods. I'd be sitting there enjoying that with a nice cold beer. Mrs. Shaky sitting there next to me doing the same thing with a margarita, and you on the other side of me wearing socks in a in a like a blanket.
I just anything between my toes.
Just boy, that's the greatest feeling ever. Well, okay, maybe not. I can think of a few better, but not.
I wasn't saying a word.
Well, I'm just saying in general. In general, get the vodka Gatorade mix going for the beach vodka Gatorade drink.
I thought it was Tito's and lemonade.
Well, the Gatorade lemonade as well, but like the Gatorade, the lemon lime Gatorade,
Oh yeah.
the big jug of the lemon lime Gatorade. Bring it home, take a glass out, drink a glass of it or so, and then refill it with Tito's and cap it up. Mark the bottle appropriately so the kids know that one is for
Yeah.
that's Dad's special drink.
Yeah, you don't want any of that.
That's Dad's special beach drink. And then
Nice.
and then you take it to the beach in the big jug, and it's buzz maintenance all day. You're not drinking too fast, there's not really a hangover because of the Gatorade is really good hangover prevention. It's awesome. That's the way to go.
You are a pro, man.
I look. I got a lot of mileage. I got a lot of experience, a lot of wisdom that has come along with my little adventures in life. And you know what? They're all learning experiences, and that is one of the better ones. That's
So true. Yeah.
a big, plus you get a beach where sometimes you get these weird prude beaches where it's like no alcohol allowed, and you're like, well, why is it a beach? So you bring that, but no, this is just Gatorade.
Gatorade, yeah.
Just got my Gatorade, thank you.
Nice.
Plastic, and it's plastic, so you're not taking glass to the beach because, of course, it's dangerous and a problem. So you bring plastic to the beach, and please be responsible. Don't be a jerk. Take the plastic bottle home with you when you're done, jerks. Okay. So anyway, it's on a tangent.
Feel better now? Yeah.
Refocus. Well, no, actually, a little bit. I feel better. I feel a little better, but now I'm really thinking about some Tito's and Gatorade, Tito's and lemonade. I think I'm going. I gotta go. I'm gonna go do some stuff later. There's gonna be. I think it might.
I was thinking about you today because I had to have tilapia for lunch. That's what they served. Oh my god.
I know Allison used to cook it a lot, and then you start to realize what tilapia is, and you're like, yeah, no, I don't want tilapia anymore.
Well, I didn't mind, except they did not serve anything to go with it. Luckily, I had ordered iced tea and I had lemons to go with it.
Ah. Okay.
But they didn't give you lemons. They didn't give you tartar sauce. They didn't give you anything.
Oh, tartar sauce.
Oh, tartar. It was. Oh my god.
Okay, so backwards. So have you? Okay, so here's my question. I guess my question then, from a product standpoint, is there any functional assistance tool that's not another human being with that you have found helpful with getting your socks on?
When I went through the big one, we call it, when I was placed in a wheelchair permanently, I had to try all these tools in occupational therapy.
Had a different big one in mind. Sorry.
Oh, stop it. So I had to try all these tools in physical therapy. I did find that the formed sock aid worked the best because I could use only one hand to do it. But taking 20 minutes to get a sock on is not fun. So I don't know. I'm working on how to do it better because I could cross my leg and get my left one on, but leaning down to get my right sock on with one hand is difficult. So I'm just gonna need more practice.
I see. Okay, okay. Now that I'm looking at this again. Now I realize there's a backside to this. The way that these pictures, I'm digging a little deeper. Okay, the ones that I said that they look like a penis pump. Okay, it's because they only showed it from the one side. It's not a completely round tube. It's only half.
Is that the sock tunnel?
Yes. Well, yeah, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then it's got the little handles like little jump rope handles or something.
Right. That requires two
Yeah,
hands though.
it requires two hands. Right, exactly. Could you?
That is more for people who can't lean down. But I can lean down. I just can't. Try it next time. Try and put your sock on with one hand.
No, I think for the in the can't lean down department, I think maybe I should get me some of these things.
Yeah.
But again, then it would probably encourage me to wear socks more often, and I want no part of that.
You're crazy.
I've told you, I've been very specific about this, and maybe maybe I have not said it on this podcast or on any of the episodes of the podcast. But my ultimate goal in life is to live somewhere, be somewhere, live in an environment somewhere where I don't have to wear socks or pants.
Clarify that further, please.
Well, okay, shorts. Right? I mean, I'm not talking about like like
Not Winnie the Poohing it. Yeah.
I'm not Clark the Cub, or Winnie the Pooh in it. Yes, no, I will have something covering covering the important pieces. But
wait, you made a Cubs reference. Holy
yeah,
cow!
well, yeah, because Clark the Cub doesn't have any pants either.
No, he doesn't. But when
Right,
you
it's
ever see him,
it's weird and creepy. You still see him. Put some pants on, man. Put some pants on, Clark the Cub. But still, Winnie the Pooh in it or Donald Duck. Donald Duck's another one. No pants. There's a
That's true.
game your cartoon. There's Bugs Bunny full on everything. Nothing. No shirt. No shoot. No shirt. No shoot. No shoot. Yeah. No
Yeah.
shirt. No shoes. No problem.
That is true.
He's just so yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't worry about his socks.
But the goal being, but the goal, of course, being for me is no socks, no pants. That's the world I want to live in.
Yeah.
And I'm working. I'm working towards like minimal sleeves too. Tank tops and pretty soon just tank tops and shorts and the problem is even here. I mean, look, I can do that for 6, 7, 8, maybe even 8 months out of the year here.
Nice.
But then it gets cold. Then it gets cold enough, Then it gets cold enough where I can't, where I got to throw on something, and at some point or another, my feet get cold, and then I guess I'm looking for the socks. Ugh.
I should ask people here how many months out of it's like a Family Feud question. How many months of the year could you wear socks in Chicagoland?
Oh, they'll say 10, maybe 9.
I don't really see many. I guess I do see sandals, not like flip flops or thongs, whatever you call them.
Well, no, but then you could
But we only wear it like 3 months of the year.
If you're wearing thongs on your feet, you don't understand what that is.
That's what we used to call it when I was down south.
Yeah, yeah, that's because down. Okay.
Stop it.
Yeah, don't get me started on where you used to live. No, it's but then you could have the same question in Florida though, because then you get all those people that wear the socks with the sandals anyway.
True.
I got my socks and my sandals.
They're black socks.
Black socks with sandals and bad button down,
Be nice.
shirts and that kind of stuff. So, all right.
So in researching, I was gonna say, in researching this episode,
yeah,
I had to do a deep dive into socks. And I don't know if you read my notes, but I discovered how many different types of socks there are.
Okay.
And how many different types of material. I mean, you have dress socks, correct?
I still have some. Yes, I couldn't tell you the last time my feet came in contact with them, but yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying most men, I'll say at this point, would have a pair of like black dress socks. So, and those are different not only because they're dress socks. I mean, what makes them dress socks? The material that they're made of?
I don't know. I think it's for me. In my case, it's just like the color. It doesn't match the suit. Like
I'm just saying, socks.
when I used to in a former life when I actually had to wear somewhat nice clothes, like not really, kind of a suit, but or a suit ish, back in
Mhm.
the sales days, the business days. Um, then yeah, then
Okay.
I would have, I had 4 or 5 different pairs of what I'll call dress socks, but that was based on matching. It was based on matching the color of the pants I was wearing and the shoes I was wearing. It wasn't the material was the material that I didn't, as long as they were comfortable. Some of them were thin, some of them were thinner looking, some of them were thicker, but I didn't care. Some of them had cool designs. Like I have dress socks that actually have sharks on them. I have another pair of dress socks that have
Oh,
drums on
wow.
them.
Nice.
Yeah,
Well, think about when most people have uh, a, a chest of drawers or whatever you want to call it, and everywhere calls it something differently. Most places have quote unquote a sock drawer.
sure. Of course, I have a
I
sock
mean,
drawer.
that shows the importance of socks.
Yep, I have a sock drawer.
But socks can be defined by like height, whether they're liners, whether they're ankle socks, whether you wear them halfway up your calf. Um, they can be defined by the material.
Right.
Because if you're going to the gym, you're not wearing whatever dress socks. What fabric would that be? Polyester?
I don't know.
You're not going to wear polyester socks with
Asking me.
your shoes to go to the gym. And then we also talk about socks by what we do with them. Whether you're there just for, like you say, exercising.
Mm-hmm.
You have dress socks.
Sock puppets.
Yeah, exactly. I'll have to get some to you. But I'm just saying, there's so many different ways to define socks. They actually have their own drawer. So, I mean, it's a really important thing in some people's
Well, in
lives.
fairness, though, you look, they call it sometimes it's the sock drawer, sometimes it's the socks and underwear drawer, sometimes it's the socks, underwear, and like t-shirt, like the undershirt
Hmm.
t-shirt, like the white t-shirt you're wearing under a dress shirt. You know, it's based on the size of the drawer. Like I like in my current dresser, chest of drawers, bureau, whatever you want to call it, since we seem to be exploring different uses
Yeah.
of the words based on the parlance of our times. Uh, my
You
my
just wanted to use that word. You wanted to sound fancy, didn't you?
parlance of our times. No, that's
Yeah.
a Big Lebowski reference. The I have so my like the top row of drawers, which I believe is kind of the standard bearer of where your socks and underpants, socks and underpants drawers are always kind of at the top, in the top drawer.
Hmm.
I have one that is I have one, but there are two drawers there. It's like one row of drawers, but there's two drawers in there. So one is truly dedicated to socks, which is completely ridiculous because for the amount of times I wear socks. And yes, if I could make a sock donation and probably I could sock the whole, like all of the homeless in Delaware.
But we don't. Everyone keeps the socks around.
Well,
Even if you don't wear them, people have drawers full of
until they get a
socks.
dog, until you get a dog, you get it. So then you get the perfect cross section of socks when they start to get holes in them, and a dog. And then you take the sock, you tie a knot in the sock, and that becomes a toy for the dog to play with. And I think dogs dig it because because they dig how you smell. You're their person, and what are you doing? You're giving them a sock with your foot smell all over it.
Smelly feet. Yeah, that's
Here,
nasty.
take. Well, yeah, maybe for us it's nasty, but this is a dog. This is a dog. Dogs like different things than we do.
That is true.
Here's it's like here's a bottle of perfume. I got it made special, and it smells just like my feet. Look,
Ugh.
it's not something you're giving to a person. But a dog is all over. Hey, here's a dirty old sock smell of my feet, and you get to play with this thing until you rip it up into so many little shreds that then it finally ends up in the garbage. But I have socks. I have dress socks that I have boring, stupid dress socks. But I have a couple that are nice. Like I said, I have ones with drums on them. I have ones with sharks on them. I have ones that have like some other kind of fish on them. Uh,
But you do not have grippy socks.
I not no, I do. I actually have a couple pairs of grippy socks. Not that I went out and purchased those grippy socks, but they were the ones that they let you take home from the hospital.
And you kept them?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, and then okay, so and again, the reason for keeping them at the time was middle of winter. Still, this was when we're still living in northern Illinois in the upper Midwest, middle of winter, and it was before I really got into like the whole slipper thing. I would just wear the grippy socks. in the winter.
Really?
Yeah, because well, and not even because of, and honestly, it wasn't even so much because of the grip. It was because of the thickness. Those
Yeah.
hospital grippy socks. Not only are they grippy, but they're thicker. They're warmer. They're warmer. And the one thing I will say, the thing that makes me put on a pair of socks and now a pair of like good slippers, like I got a really good, a really nice pair of Olakai slippers. That thing, there's another product placement by the way. Uh, the the thing that the one thing that will make me dive into the sock drawer is when my feet get cold, because when my feet get cold, it seems like it
Mhm.
takes forever to warm them up.
I get that. Yeah.
That's when I'm diving into the sock drawer. Beyond that, yeah,
See, the socks are the first thing I get rid of when I get home from the hospital.
really.
I don't want any memory of it. But this cute little toy that my OT therapist made, I'm gonna have to keep. Actually, I use it for speech and for OT.
How do you
I'll
use
have
it
to
for
show.
speech?
I have to strengthen my neck. So I have to put it below my neck and hold it sometimes.
Oh, okay, all right. That's I
Because every time I take a drink, I now have to do a chin tuck.
was really hoping there was going to be another sock puppet thing there.
Oh, do you want me to keep it just for you?
No, I
I
got.
mean, I also have to work on my grip with my left hand because my left hand is getting weaker.
Yep.
So I sit here all day and I squeeze it.
See, I have. That's what I have this for.
What on earth is that?
It is it's a stress doll.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, let me find the camera here. Stress doll, and
Oh, there you go. Okay.
it's a scuba diver,
It's so cute.
a little scuba diver stress doll that I got.
But he's not wearing socks, is he?
Well, no, because he's a diver.
Because he's a diver.
Yeah, and look, that's the other. So actually, that's what the one pair of socks. If I'm the one pair of socks that I find the most important pair of socks that I have in my life are the socks that I wear when I dive. Because I actually put a pair. You put a little known thing, even in the diver world. I've seen a lot of divers are like, well, what is that, and why are you doing this? So putting on a wetsuit when you're donning when you're donning a wetsuit, it's sometimes it's really difficult to slide bare feet through the legs of a wetsuit. So you put on these socks, these socks that are they're like nylon or whatever they're whatever material they use, but it's kind of
Mhm.
slippy material. So you put those on first, and then your foot just slides right through the wetsuit, and it goes on real easy.
You put the socks on before you put the suit on?
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah, because that makes it easier. I saw a guy using like an old Jules bag. He put the Jules bag on his foot and he'd slide it through the thing, and then he'd take the Jules bag off. He put it on his other foot and slide his foot through. Anything to make your feet slide through
Slippery. Okay.
the wetsuit easier.
That makes sense, I guess.
There's a product on. There's actually a dedicated product to it somewhere on Amazon, and it's got like a Sluggo or a Sluggo. It's a weird name that I saw. A friend of mine, a diver friend of mine, had one, and I was like, "This is great," but I got the socks, and then because well, what are you going to do when you put your hands in? So I could put another sock and put it on my hand, slides right through, and I could sock puppet my way out.
There you go with the sock puppets.
Hello.
I'd
I want to go get a sock and make sock puppets.
rather be home. I've got plenty of socks at home for you.
I got tons of them too. So all right. What else? So we went with compression socks, different materials, dress socks, gym socks, white socks,
Yeah, I've covered everything I wanted to
red
except
socks.
the concept of grounding. And that could possibly be a whole episode.
Okay, what's the nut? Give me the overview of it, because I don't know. Give me the overview because I don't know what you're talking about.
Grounding is a concept that your body sometimes needs to connect with the earth.
Oh.
That transfer of energy. And if you think about it, especially now that I'm in a wheelchair, I don't get to do that very often. And it's cold. It's always cold here. So rarely do I take my socks off to touch the earth.
Well, if you want to touch the earth, it usually revolves me hitting a bump in the wheelchair and you falling out. Then you're touching the earth, and it's not just your feet; it's your whole face and everything.
I know, you're so thoughtful.
Right? There's a reason for all that.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, it's something I want to explore. But if someone knows anything more about it, please
What happened?
reach out, because I think I'm fascinated with the concept that in my life, I'm always inside, my feet rarely touch earth. And
What happened to Wheels' face? Grounding.
grounding, now you have an
Grounding.
excuse, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
She was just
I get
grounding
it.
herself.
I get it. No, I get it. But
You know, I mean, in this day and age where everything is paved over. You know that. I mean,
Okay, but here's okay. So I'm gonna point out. I'm gonna point out. Not hypocrisy is not the right word, but a little diametrically opposed viewpoint here. Not what 20 minutes ago or however many minutes ago this was. You were disgusted at the idea of having sand in between your toes.
yes, grass in between my toes I would be okay with.
Wow. Okay. All right.
It just, I don't know. The sand sticks there. It's something about the texture.
You
Just
risk
being able
going.
to just put my feet on grass
Well,
would be
okay.
nice.
All right. I guess it's got to be grass.
No,
Could it be dirt?
it could be dirt
And that's
as
okay.
long as it's earth. Yep, as long as it's earth.
Sand isn't earth.
It is. I just don't like it. I know you're trying to convert me.
No, I just I have a fundament. Yeah, I have a fundamental flaw. I think it's a statement that's fundamentally flawed. But but okay. And the whole grounding thing, I
It could be a whole episode again. It's just something I want to look into.
I got it. So it is a whole episode. So because my brain works and I always like relate it to music. This is one of those things. Whenever I see singers that have to be on stage in their bare feet,
Hmm.
like the one because she annoys me in general anyway. She kind of annoys me a little bit. She's got a great voice. It's this the English girl Joss Stone, who's a she's got a fantastic voice. She has a beautiful voice, but she tries to sing old school blues, like old soul and blues stuff, and she is just white as milk. I mean, she's so white that she's like a Colin Jost bit on Saturday Night Live. She's
Mm.
and she just has no, I don't know, she has no pain. She has there's no real struggle or pain or anything in her voice. Like I
So
my
how does this
guess.
relate to socks?
I'll tell you how it relates to socks is that she walks out. It doesn't. I have never seen her. I've never seen her sing on a stage at all with shoes on or socks or anything. And she's been asked about it. Hey, Joss Stone, what's with the bare feet on stage all the time? She's like, oh, I have to connect. It's how I connect to the stage. It's how I connect to the. And it's such nonsensical BS. Shut up and go sing. You know who you never saw in bare feet on the stage? Aretha Franklin. And Aretha Franklin had the greatest voice in the history of womankind. Excuse me. Aretha Franklin had the greatest voice in the history of womankind, and not only never ever was in her, maybe as a kid, but you never saw her in her bare feet on stage. This is a woman who had to, at the last minute, had to fill in for Luciano Pavarotti at the Grammys, and not only did it, nailed it. I mean, absolutely just crushed it. And you know what she did while she was crushing it? She wore shoes.
I was gonna say I bet she wasn't wearing olakais though.
Oh, I don't know. She probably not. She was probably wearing. I'm sure she was wearing something extraordinarily comfortable though, because at that point she was full on Aretha Franklin. That's my. I just.
You're just doing a reverse argument here is what I'm trying to wrap my mind around. You're arguing for shoes, for wearing stuff on your feet.
Yeah. Well, look,
Uh-uh.
on stage. Yeah, but for different reasons. I'm not wearing. Look, my desire not to. And by the way, my desire not to wear socks is different than my desire not to wear. Like yes, I'm wearing my usual pair of Olakai boat shoes right now. Olakai should send us some dough because we're giving. Um, I'm wearing my usual Olakai boat shoes right now. That I've grown to. I wear these more than my flip flops. I wear these Olakai boat shoes more than any other shoe that I own. I love these things. Um,
Without socks.
without socks. Well, because they're met. They're like built. They're supposed to be worn without socks. And on a really cold on a day, if it's really really cold, I will throw on a pair of socks and still wear these things. But it's not. But beyond that, it's not. I'm not doing it. I'm not wearing like I'm not wearing socks. I kind of follow this here because of some self self-absorbed, pretentious. Like, I'm sorry, and I realize people are going to be probably be bothered by this, but yeah, it's self-absorbed, pretentious crap. I have to be connected. I have to feel connected.
Mhm.
Just shut up and do what you're there to do. It doesn't matter what you're wearing on your
There's
feet.
Mr. Cynical.
Shut up and sing, or
Mhm.
shut up and play. Oh, I just have to. The greatest, the greatest singers, the greatest musicians in the world never really. I don't think ever gave a crap about being connected to the stage. You didn't see Paul McCartney walking around bare feet on the stage. And yes, John Lennon was barefoot. There was a bunch of them barefoot when they were crossing Abbey Road. Fine,
Mhm.
but you know what? They weren't barefoot on stage. Knock it off. That's so the you want to do this grounding episode, be prepared for this kind of crap, because that's where this is going to end up for me. I'm just telling you right now. It'll be funny, but it's going to be cynical because I don't buy it.
I've heard you growl before. Don't worry about that.
So
Mm. Well, my point is that the grippy socks do help me.
sure.
Um, and that obviously the hospital recommends them because we're supposed to sit on the edge of our beds, do PT, all this kind of thing. The only thing is you always talk about your house shoes. And my last comment will be about that. You've never seen me in house shoes though. Because one thing about MS is obviously it doesn't like heat.
Right.
And if I wear house shoes, my feet sweat. So these grippy socks are my way around that.
I think grippy socks. I think grippy socks are just really a version of what I call slippers, what you're calling house shoes. House shoes.
Uh,
Um,
People keep trying to buy me house shoes, but my feet sweat in house shoes.
I
So
no, I get that.
these grippy socks are my way of coping.
I get that. No, no, see, I think grippy socks are just another version of what you're calling house shoes. I have a I'm struggling with house shoes because to me they're just slippers. But fine. But point being, because even slippers, if somebody says, "Here, go put on your slippers," it's somebody, "Hey, go get go put on your slippers," and you come back wearing a pair of grippy socks, especially them yeller ones like you got there. Um, those are like the red, like I have red ones. I think I have a pair of red ones from a different hospital. My feet are cold. Hey, my feet are cold. Can you go get my slippers? And somebody comes back with grippy socks. I'm good.
Well, I know we're close to ending, and let me finish my final comment on this. You're talking about slippers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about grippy socks. They sound like they're two diametrically opposed things.
Oh no, no,
I
no.
know what they are, but I'm saying just by virtue of the name, slippers and grippy socks.
Well, diametrically, no, certainly, I absolutely disagree with the idea that they're diametrically opposed. I would argue that they are adjacent.
Talk about the words.
Well, I'm talking about the function.
Yeah, I can't do house shoes. I can't call them slippers because I'm not supposed to be slipping. I need grippies. But I will say that I've tried so many different kinds and they made my feet sweat. So, and there's a lot of different kinds of grippy socks. I mean, I won't name the brand that I use, but there's a lot of them out there. Someone call them Pilates socks because people wear them to do Pilates and such, or yoga socks. But
Hmm.
the thing is, the grippy does help.
No, I
That's
get
just
it.
me.
No, the yoga. Well, and the grippy. Look, the grippies serve a purpose. That's why that's in the world of in the sock world in the sock world of socks, grippy socks, or I'm gonna actually let me step back in the world of footwear. Let's make this a little bit bigger umbrella. In the world of footwear, you have the regular sock, the grippy sock, and then the slipper slash house shoe. um, I think grippy socks are more akin to the slipper, even though the words I understand like the word doesn't say it, but the function by
Mhm.
function the grippy sock is more akin to the slipper than it is to the regular sock. That is my current that is my current thesis for the day. Uh, and I'm and just I'm it's taking every ounce of my being not to dive back into this grounding thing.
We can't. We are running out of time. We need
I know we've been
to
going
wrap
really
this
long.
up.
So,
I mean, just
all right,
know that grippy socks are a saving grace.
absolutely.
And like I said, being here at the hospital, the first thing I try and do
Yep,
is get you those yellow Big Bird socks.
rock on.
So hey, but
And okay, so product wise, if you have two functional hands but you can't bend over, then the sock aid is a
right,
has a plus recommendation from us. If you can't
it does.
use both hands, you got to figure out something else.
If you have two hands, the sock funnel is awesome.
The sock funnel.
If you have one hand, the sock formed aid that looks like a torture device with the two metal ends. It's great for pulling your socks around your heels,
Okay.
which is great. Or overall, I recommend, highly recommend the grippy socks. I won't name a
Or
brand. I've got a
grippy is,
preferred brand, but Amazon's got a lot of different choices.
grippy is grippy.
Yes.
And then so you know what the product is here right now is for a company to make the sock and then write the word grippy along the bottom of the sock in the grippy material. That's the
There
good
you go.
right there. That
There
is
you
the
go.
marketing.
Write that down.
Somebody take that. Well, I should do that. We should do that
Mhm.
right now. Anything else? Have
No,
we
that's
covered
it.
our feet sufficiently?
I will say that. I will say that every Christmas, um, and usually on birthday, which are roughly 5 months apart, someone will get me new grippy socks because the grippy does wear off.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So you do have to wear them in. When you first get them, they're super grippy, but you get a hang of it.
Right.
But I cannot live without grippy socks.
I hear you.
So highly recommend.
Highly recommend on the grippy socks. All right. Awesome. I think that wraps it up, right? Are we
I
good?
think so.
All right, awesome. Well, did you do you want to? I know it wraps it up. Is okay. I know. I see you ragging ahead of me, but I just wanted to make sure because after the last episode, I said there was just real quick status update on what your deal is right now, or do you not want
Oh, that. Oh, I can talk about that. That's
to get like a 30-second summation of where you are and what you're doing?
um. I've been in the hospital or rehab facility since April 30th.
Right.
I get to go home on the 13th. I've had many infections that I've had to fight, including sepsis, urosepsis, and bloodstream sepsis. That was a fun week.
Yeah.
They think they finally got all of my infections gone.
Mm-hmm.
I now have to drink this one drink every 10 days for maintenance for God knows how long. But now I'm just grateful. I never thought I'd say that. I'm grateful that I only have my MS to work on.
Yeah.
So the next, 9 days are going to be focused on getting me standing again, and strengthening my right side because after being in the hospital for the third time for 2 full weeks, yeah, I lost some of my ability. So now I just got to go back to square one, actually square -1 or -2, and
Zero.
work forward again. So
Okay.
no, I'm not as strong as I was when I first began this
Right.
process.
Okay.
So I'm just working back. My therapists are awesome. As you can see, I'm kind of working with my right hand. Yay.
Yep.
Lefty, still not all that great, but I'm getting there.
But that's
So
not a big drop off from before. So
it's a fairly big drop off. No one
oh,
can
is it?
tell but me, though.
Okay.
But yeah,
Oh, all right.
I'll get there.
Okay. I just it was something like people were asking. People who don't listen to the podcast were asking. I just wanted to make sure that there
Yeah.
was an update out there for that. And it's like I said, it's your story to tell. So I don't like to put it out there for.
Nope.
I
Infection's
leave it for
gone. MS is my priority. Getting
no
my
more kidney
strength back.
stone, no more kidney stones out.
Nope. They actually scraped out my kidney.
Right on.
So no more yucky stuff, supposedly.
All right.
But again, we recall I've done this twice.
Yep.
The day I packed to leave this rehab facility, everything shuts down. So check with me on the 13th.
Yeah. Maybe you like the rehab facility so much you just don't want to leave.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. All right. Well, thank you for the update. Thank you for the update. Thank you for being back here. Thank you for fighting through all of this
I'm trying.
because first of all, the wheels and Shaky podcast doesn't work without you if you're not if you're not available. Look, once in a while is fine, but we need you around. So there's that. Two, I'm overjoyed that you are seemingly on the right path here and back to
Just got to make it past the 13th.
right.
I'm
Well,
going home this time. They are not keeping me again.
right, exactly. And that's awesome. And I'm glad you're back, and I'm glad you're feeling better. And
Thank you.
you and I have had those conversations privately, but publicly, you like I said, where I stand where I stand as far as you being the queen of badassery and all that. So
Well, my fantastic therapists here they're pretty badass too.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are. But I'm guessing they have more fun working with you than they have working with a lot of other people, because your general attitude about just sort of living is significantly better than I think most. So
I've had a tough attitude lately with the infections, fighting the fever, blah blah blah.
yeah, it's still
But now that I just have MS,
Yep.
I'm thankful for that. As goofy as it sounds, I'm coming back.
Yep. All right. Well, and that being the latest update on everything there, we shall wrap this up. Apologies because this did go longer than we thought, but we had a lot to cover. Socks are a big deal. Like and subscribe. So here comes the usual pitch at the end. Like and subscribe if you have ideas for us, conversations for us, products for us, things you want to hear us talk about, anything like that. wheelsandshaky.com. You can email Wheels or myself from links right there. Like us on YouTube, Wheels and Shaky on YouTube. Like us, follow us, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, etc., etc., etc. We're out there. We're out there, and we're becoming easier and easier to find. We had some monster numbers on our last full episode that we did. The numbers.
Thank you, everybody.
So thank you for everybody that has listened and keeps listening. Please, please, please tell your friends about us. Right now, we're kind of grassroots movement because we're not really spending any money. We're not really spending any dough on marketing things. And that's it. We will catch you next time. Anything else? Any sign off words there, lady?
Nope, just that we will see them soon.
All right.
Or they will hear us soon.
Cool. Awesome. Be safe. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your friends. Take care of your people. Be well. Be safe. Do all that stuff. Later.
Bye bye.